Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks situation is pretty muddled right now. Pretty difficult to decipher what's actually going to happen. But I will say that I do expect Collins and Bogdanovich to likely sit tonight, which is going to create some interesting tournament options. It doesn't create value really better than what we have right now because there is such good value. But if you want to get different, get off the chalk, it's definitely going to create some value for guys like Cam Reddish, Herter, Danilo Gallinari will likely start in place of John Collins. But again, these guys are game time decisions. We should know ahead of time. We already heard from Nate McMillan that they want to sit some of these guys in back-to-backs. So with these guys dealing with legitimate injuries, being game time decisions, I am just reading the tea leaves, assuming they are going to miss this game. I'm going to get out this tweet, then we start going over things. We're going to have a lot of news, man. We're getting like all this news for tomorrow instead of today. Would like the today news. Also, another lean that I have, Joel Embiid. He was questionable, and then it was said that he was expecting to play, and then the next report was that he was going to be a game time decision with the intent of playing. I expect him to play. Obviously, if he ends up sitting, Shake Milton. And then freaking Korkmaz is also questionable. But with this being their first game of the slate, we should get that news. But yeah, if Embiid and Korkmaz end up missing, Georges Niang, Maxey, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle. I mean, Thybulle's going to play a ton of minutes regardless. It doesn't really affect his usage all that much. But yeah, Milton, Maxey, and Georges Niang would become near must plays in my opinion. Should be a competitive game against the Detroit Pistons, who are not a good team, and if they are going to be missing Joel Embiid, as well as Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, it's hard to not look that way. But let's just get right into the slate, guys. All right, guys, we're going to go game by game, kind of go over the injury news as I continue to look at my phone. Josh Richardson is officially ruled out. I'm assuming Al Horford could still sit in this game. It's weird that we have not gotten news on that yet. We have heard that the Boston Celtics are going to sit Al Horford on the second leg of back-to-backs, and today is the second leg of a back-to-back. So I was expecting Dennis Schroeder to grab the start here with no Josh Richardson. Oh, wow, Donovan Mitchell ruled out. Okay, so this slate is actually going to get pretty crazy here. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we already got that news. Donovan Mitchell is officially ruled out. So that is a big boost to guys like Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic rather. Joe Ingles going to get some extra minutes as well. We're going to have to make some updates, guys, for sure. Mike Conley over on FanDuel, man. I mean, this guy is just so affordable at $5,200. Hard to not like him over here. Wow. Okay. And actually, let's take a look over at PrizePicks and see if we can take advantage of some stuff over here. Mike Conley is on the board right now, and they have Donovan Mitchell in, so I might hit this real quick. Where's Conley at? They don't have a fancy projection for Conley, no. You can only get single stat from him. 15.5 points. I still kind of like that. What's his assist at? I think I'd prefer his assist. 5 assists. He's at about 10 potential assists per game with no Donovan Mitchell. He's going to be handling the ball a lot more. I'm not going to take anything here, but I do lean the over on Mike Conley points and assists. I probably prefer the assists, though. I mean, this slate is just insane. Wild slate. Okay, we're gonna have to change like a bunch of stuff right here. We'll kind of go through the news and then I'll make the official updates. But well, I mean, we'll talk through it. So actually, I'll leave the Philadelphia 76ers until we get news on them. I will say Joel Embiid is a game time decision, but he has intent of playing tonight. Frickin' Korkmaz is also questionable. I'm assuming he sits tonight, which is going to likely give the start to Georges Niang. I think Georges Niang is an amazing play regardless. He has been closing over Korkmaz in these last 2 games without Tobias Harris. I think that he's going to play big minutes today. And if he is ruled out, that leaves one less ball handler from this Philadelphia 76ers team. They were already lacking ball handlers. We saw Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey play 8 minutes next to each other last game, and I think that probably rises today. Obviously, Milton is no longer on a minutes restriction. Played 19 minutes, but I think those minutes could be on the rise here. And they're going to need his ball handling duties. So Tyrese Maxey, Georges Niang, all amazing plays today. I do expect Joel Embiid to play on the Detroit Pistons side. Really just focusing in on Kelly Olynyk and Cade Cunningham. Cade ended up playing 29 minutes last game. Would have played more if the game didn't end up blowing out. So you should expect 30, 32 minutes out of him. This matchup is a bit better. D'Angelo Russell out tomorrow. But he's going to be the chalk of the chalk. If you want to get off of Cade Cunningham in the same exact game, maybe pivot over to Shake Milton, who I think has a ton of upside today. Don't mind Cade and cash games. If you're playing one lineup playing cash games, you probably just go ahead and play Cade Cunningham. And then Kelly Olynyk, I think he gets back on track today, closing out these games. He did just close against the same 76ers team, did a lot better than Isaiah Stewart did. Isaiah Stewart was struggling with Joel Embiid. And Olynyk so far this year averaging about 1.2 fantasy points per minute. He is $5,100. One of my favorite tournament options on the slate. The Utah Jazz versus the Atlanta Hawks. So we just got word that Donovan Mitchell is going to be out in this game. Rudy Gay is also out. Rudy Gobert is active, actually. So this is going to open up a ton for Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic. Mike Conley especially, though. Joe Ingles will probably grab the start here, and then Jordan Clarkson will continue to come off the bench. All these guys are definitely viable. Plus matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. So we just got word that John Collins and Bogdan Bogdanovic are both game time decisions today. This is only 30 minutes after lock, so I'm assuming we're going to get it within the next couple of minutes, definitely before lock. We already know that Nate McMillan wants to sit some of these guys on back-to-backs this year. So I'm assuming these guys end up missing. Now this is going to create value, not value better than what we already have, but I do think they are interesting pivot options, especially with Cam Reddish at $4,600. Should succeed a ton of ball handling responsibilities with no Bogdanovic and John Collins as well. So we know that they are trying to push his minutes anyways, and his minutes were already on an upward trend. So if John Collins and Bogdanovic end up missing, I like Cam Reddish quite a bit. Kevin Huerter becomes an interesting play at $3,900. He's another guy you could use to pivot off of a popular Cade Cunningham. And then Clint Capella up top at 7,200. I already talked about this enough. He's going to play 33, 34 minutes in these games, especially to match the size of Rudy Gobert. And if John Collins is out, that's less likelihood that they do end up going small ball, even when they are playing from behind, if they are even playing from behind. And then Danilo Gallinari will probably grab a start in place of John Collins if he is in fact ruled out. The Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. So the Celtics, it's kind of interesting. It was already said before the year that Al Horford was going to sit the second leg of back-to-backs. Mike is fine. Okay, you guys trolling. Okay, that scared me for a second. But it was said that Al Horford could possibly, or is going to sit the second leg of back-to-backs. And, yeah, that threw me off. Yeah, so this is the second leg of a back-to-back. I'm expecting him to sit in this game, but it's weird that we have not received confirmation on that. If he is ruled out, Robert Williams becomes a much, much better play, but it is a very tough matchup tonight. I would also expect Dennis Schroeder, especially without Josh Richardson, who was just ruled out, to enter the starting lineup. He would be a pretty decent play, but again, this Miami Heat team is not a team I really want to target players against. On the Miami side, though, I do like Bam Adebayo quite a bit at $8,100. I do think today is a 2-center day where you play 2 of the 3 guys of Bam Adebayo, or you go down to JaVale McGee, who I'm expecting DeAndre Ayton to sit again, as well as Alperen Sengun. I think you play 3 of those guys, Sengun, McGee, and Bam Adebayo. And then Tyler Hero, I still think he's affordable, leads the team with a near 30% usage rating, playing mid-30s minutes. And if this game ends up blowing out for whatever reason, Tyler Hero is going to absolutely destroy in that fourth quarter in his stint. But they're closing with him. So if he's going to continue to get these kind of minutes with that kind of usage, it's hard to not get to him. A much better value play over on FanDuel than he is on Draftkings. I'm definitely targeting him a lot more over on FanDuel. The Houston Rockets versus the Phoenix Suns. John Wall obviously out. Eric Gordon is back after missing last game to nausea. Daniel Tice is officially ruled out. So we are going to see Alperen Sengun back in the starting lineup, likely next to Christian Wood. He was dealing with foul trouble last game, but I think it was still the correct call. I'm going to be personally going back to the well with him at $4,100. He put up his worst fantasy output despite of the year, despite playing the most minutes of the year. He was dealing with foul trouble. It was a whole other beast. He was dealing with Anthony Davis. In this game, he's going to be dealing with JaVale McGee and Frank Kaminsky. A lot easier matchup for Sengun. He was averaging nearly 1.2 fantasy points per minute before that last game. So I like Sengun quite a bit. I like Kevin Porter Jr. a ton on FanDuel. DraftKings, I still think he's viable. Not as much on DraftKings. And then KJ Martin, I think that he continues to see his minutes trend upwards, especially without Daniel Tice. The last 2 games, they have been closing with KJ Martin over Alperen Sengun. So if that continues to happen at $3,600, he is a pretty good value play there. The Phoenix Suns are, going to be without Dario Saric. DeAndre Ayton and Cameron Payne are both questionable. If you read the reports from yesterday, it said that Ayton and Cam Payne were limited during practice, but Cameron Payne was further ahead than DeAndre Ayton. If you kind of just read the tea leaves there, it kind of seems like DeAndre Ayton is going to sit yet again. So JaVale McGee ended up starting last game, played 19 minutes. And then Frank Kaminsky ended up playing the second half, or starting the second half and playing 29 minutes. But regardless, I think both these guys can get there since they are so affordable. You can definitely play both these guys together. The matchup is pretty much as good as it could possibly get. So I like both these guys quite a bit. I think you probably end up playing McGee. I think he gets the start here. And, they should really dominate here. And the Chris Paul up top at $8,500. We're going to get to the next game where we have 2 locks on the slate who are higher end plays. So if you can get up to Chris Paul as well as them, I think that is a route you could be going today. And then I think Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder at $5,100, $5,000 both benefit from DeAndre Ayton being out, just from a rebounding perspective, as well as they could end up going small. That's not out of the realm of possibility, so that would earn more minutes for Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder. Bridges ended up playing 42 minutes last game in regulation, so like both those guys, slightly prefer Mikal Bridges. Move over to the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Lou Dort is still questionable. I'm expecting him to play. Gabriel Deck is also questionable, but he's not in the rotation, so it doesn't really matter. Without LeBron James, though, on the other side, this game has a lot better likelihood of staying competitive. So the only problem with the Thunder guys is that they're priced down, but that is because the blowout factor is definitely baked into their prices. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's probably priced appropriately at $8,400. I love him on FanDuel, not as much on DraftKings. So I do like him. And if you're playing multiple Lakers guys, you can definitely bring it back with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I do like Chris Paul more than him in a vacuum, but if you want the pure correlation, you could play Shai over Chris Paul. Hope that the Suns and Rockets game ends up blowing out. And then you have the game stack in the last game of the slate. And then Josh Giddey at $5,800. Bazley, I think, are probably too cheap, especially Giddey at $5,800. His minutes seem relatively secure, and his role on this team is very, very nice. I'm hoping Lou Dort is out. I think that is a bit of a boost to a guy like Josh Giddey. Now, then on the Lakers side, obviously, we are going to be without LeBron James, Kendrick Nunn, Talon Horton-Tucker, Trevor Ariza. Those guys are all out. Dwight Howard has missed the last 2 games. He's expected to play tonight. I'm curious to see what they do with the lineup for the Lakers, because the last 2 games without Dwight Howard, they've slid Anthony Davis to the 5 and Avery Bradley entered the starting lineup. Now with him back, they might go back to DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup and then run their regular rotation. But I think more times than not, they probably continue to start Anthony Davis at the 5. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Westbrook and Anthony Davis without LeBron James are must plays for me. Yeah, I can't get away from playing both these guys. I think they're the 2 clear spin up options on this slate. I think Carmelo Anthony at $5,300, very scoring dependent. I think I prefer the other, like the Suns guys in this price range, and honestly the Jazz guys in this price range now that Donovan Mitchell is out, to Carmelo Anthony. And then I wouldn't mind Malik Monk usually at $3,200, but Avery Bradley is now in the fold and Dwight Howard is coming back, so don't really know where the minutes are going to go there. Rajon Rondo should play extended minutes today with no LeBron James. He should be the backup to Russell Westbrook, because they only have 2 ball handlers on this team. One is Westbrook and one is Rajon Rondo. Westbrook obviously not going to play all 48 minutes, so Rondo is probably going to come out here and play around 20 minutes. Good per minute producer. If you need like a near minimum price guy at $3,100, he is probably your guy. But man, we are, so that Mitchell news is definitely pretty big. Definitely big on this slate. Also, with no news yet on Korkmaz and Joel Embiid, as well as the Atlanta guys with John Collins and Bogdan Bogdanovic. So we're going to have to be cramming near the end of this stream. Conley's assist at over under 6.5. I prefer the over. Wasn't it just like 5? So they definitely just moved that. Oh, if on the books it's at 6.5, I mean, you can get the Conley over 5 assists right here. I like that. Like that for sure. Is it Conley KBG straight up on DK now? Conley's definitely a safer play than the Kevin Porter Jr., but if you have confidence in yourself, Kevin Porter Jr., massive upside. I got the over 17.5 fantasy points on Ken Bazemore before LeBron news. Nice. Yeah, if you guys are a part of the Patreon group, we got in on Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Russell Westbrook at like 45 and 46 fantasy points, and they ballooned up to 50 and 52.5, and we ended up pairing it with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is very good correlation, because if this game is competitive, and in order for Anthony Davis and Westbrook to hit those numbers, that game's gonna have to be competitive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a part of that on the other side. 34.5 is pretty easy for Shai to end up getting. They will push his minutes in competitive games. We just saw it recently, so yeah, like Shai a good bit over here. I'm probably not touching AD and Westbrook anymore at these numbers, but yeah, I mean, I like Chris Paul over as well, Tyler Hero over as well as too. Sengun in play, absolutely, man. Yeah, Sengun is definitely in play. I wish he was on the board over here. Unfortunately, he is not. And then I don't really know on the Al Horford situation. At this point, I lean that he ends up playing because we haven't received a word yet. You would imagine we would hear that earlier on in the day. They play in just over an hour, so I'm assuming Al Horford gives it a go. And then, man, Clint Capella is still sitting here at 31 fantasy points. Man, I love this number a ton. I think it's really easy for him to hit. Is Ayton playing? I'm assuming, we have no word on DeAndre Ayton, confirmation, but I do assume that he sits here. Best value on the Pistons versus 76ers. I mean, we're still waiting on news on Korkmaz, because if Korkmaz is out, then I like Georges Niang a ton. I still like him regardless. I think that Cade Cunningham on the Detroit team is a really good value, as well as Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton. Ton of good value plays for the 76ers. I mean, on the Sixers, you could realistically play 3 or 4 of those guys and be completely fine. Are you playing Frank the Tank and McGee same lineup? Yeah, more times than not I am on DraftKings. Embiid in play if he plays. Yeah, more of a tournament option for me. If you could fit in Embiid with Westbrook and AD, I don't even know if that's possible. I haven't really been messing around with that kind of lineup. I don't think it's possible. I just definitely prefer LeBron and them to Joel, but or not LeBron, AD and Westbrook. Joel Embiid definitely in play. I mean, he just torched this team the other night for like 30 and 18. Yeah, 30 and 18. 59 fantasy points in just 31 minutes. They did just play yesterday, so I don't know how many minutes they really end up pushing Joel Embiid. It might be on the lighter side where he plays like 30, 32 minutes. So, you know, we know the upside with Joel Embiid, but he just really hasn't looked himself all that much this year. Just really not getting to him today, personally. Yeah, I guess you guys could make it work technically with if you want to play all three of these guys, but I'm probably not going that route. You like Conley more than Hero now on DK? No, I still like Hero more. You think switching CP3 Maxey to Conley and SGA is a good FanDuel lineup? I still prefer the Chris Paul side. Definitely. Clint or Bam? I like Bam more than Clint. I think Bam is probably a tad bit too cheap. But again, guys, the best values on this slate are probably Sengun and JaVale McGee and Frank Kaminsky. So you can definitely get away with playing two very cheap, inexpensive centers and then spending up elsewhere, obviously with the expensive Lakers guys. And then you can get up to a guy like, you know, Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Martin, or Sengun for sure. I'll check your DM in a second, Matt. I got to update something real quick. Favorite play tonight? I mean, Westbrook and Anthony Davis. Martin and Sengun. Who are your favorites on PrizePicks? So my favorite play as of right now is Clint Capella. We did get in on 80 and Westbrook early last game, or before they took the numbers off the board and then inflated them after we got LeBron news. I could also play Hero over KBJ in that line I sent you, but I don't know. Yeah, I probably like that. Clarkson or Bojan? Probably Clarkson, man. Clarkson probably closes this game out, and with no Mitchell, this game probably going to be pretty close. Oh, wow. What is going on? Okay. Who is the best minimum play? I don't know if there's any minimum plays on the site on DraftKings today, but Rajon Rondo's $3,100, so that's pretty cheap. Gobert or Bam? Bam for me. Bam or Wood. DK Cash. Bam. 4,000 Cunningham. Yeah, Cunningham is one of the better value plays on the slate. I definitely think you can get away from him in tournaments just because the play itself is so volatile because we don't really know much about Cade Cunningham as an NBA player. What he's shown so far is that his shooting has not been good through 2 games, but that's a 2-game sample size. You know, he played 29 minutes last game. He would have played more if it wasn't blowing out. Officially off a minutes restriction. He's not restricted to just playing one end of the back-to-backs like he was. This is the front end of a back-to-back, so maybe they scale back his minutes more since they're playing him tomorrow. But I think all the restrictions are off. I think more times than not, Cade probably plays 30, 32 minutes. He had like a 24% usage rating last game. I think that probably continues, like a 24, 25% usage rating. $4,000, he's going to be very chalky. I think you play him in cash games. But if you want to get off of him in GPPs, you know, get off to him. Go down to a guy like Shake Milton, especially if Korkmaz is out. Or if Bogdanovich is out, you can go down to Kevin Huerter or up to Cam Reddish. You know, there's definitely different pivots off of Cade Cunningham today. But in cash games, you probably go ahead and play him. I think he's a much better play on DraftKings than FanDuel. I will also say that. Best 3K play is Avery Bradley. Oh, yeah, if you guys do need a bare minimum guy, Avery Bradley should grab the start today. Should. With Dwight back, they might throw DeAndre Jordan back in the starting lineup. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. Monk or Rondo? See, Avery Bradley complicates things. Now that he's playing like 30 minutes, or it has been, it complicates things for Monk. I probably prefer Monk there. But I think Rondo's actually probably safer because I know he's going to play around like 20 minutes and he's going to be a better per minute producer than him. No one on Jimmy, he has too much help. I mean, dude, Jimmy is like a good play. I mean, it's just like really hard to get up to him when AD and Westbrook are on the slate. Kelly O or Bojan? Probably Bojan for me. Or Kelly. Oh, Kelly Olynyk. I was thinking Kelly Oubre for whatever reason. I don't know. I think I actually like Kelly Olynyk more. Sorry. Bojan tonight. Yeah, I mean, Bojan definitely gets a bump with no Mitchell. Capella over 11.5 points sound good. That does sound good, actually. And on PrizePicks, he's 10.5. Any issue with playing 3 Jazz? It depends what the 3 Jazz are. So I'm assuming you're playing like Clarkson, Bojan, and Conley. So I think that's fine. McGee and Hero or Capella and Milton on FanDuel. McGee and Hero. Who benefits more with Bogdan out? Reddish or Hunter? Definitely Reddish. Sub 4K, small forward, FanDuel, got a sick line, need a flyer. Let me take a look at it real quick. Small forward on FanDuel, sub 4K. Let's see if there's anybody here. So yeah, I mean, you could wait for this John Collins news. If John Collins is ruled out, Gallinari could start in his place, but actually KJ Martin at $3,700 is probably the play regardless of that situation. So yeah, I'd play KJ Martin. KJ Martin squarely in play at $3,700 with no Daniel Tice. His minutes are trending upwards. I like KJ Martin. So Conley over 34.5, easy, right? I mean, it looks nice for sure. Conley a sneaky GPP play on DK. Yeah, I think with this news actually coming out pretty close to lock that Conley's going to be pretty low owned, and I like him a good bit. But I am making an update on the Patreon real quick with this Utah Jazz news, and then we can get to some more questions. On Draftkings, Conley could definitely be sneaky at his price point. It's just like his price is way better on FanDuel than it is on Draftkings. Like infinitely better. He's 5,200 on FanDuel. He's 6,200 on Draftkings, which is like quite the price discrepancy given the salaries. But yeah, I mean, I think it more so makes like Jordan Clarkson a near S tier play for me. I'm just trying to decide what I want to do because I'm considering getting off Cade and just going up to Clarkson and then getting a bit different elsewhere on DraftKings. Thoughts on Monk tonight? Not really on Monk. Westbrook, Gideon, Yang, 80, Bam, Rondo, Kaminsky, McGee. I like that a ton, man. One line build. Who would you play at center? Probably McGee. Wood against No Aiden. Yeah, definitely a better matchup for Wood against McGee and Frank Kaminsky. Or McGee, yeah. So Clarkson over Conley. I mean, I definitely like Conley more, like in a vacuum. Point per dollar wise, I probably slightly prefer Jordan Clarkson. Let me make this update real quick, guys. Clarkson is an elite play. It's just so tough to fit things together. Yeah, the roster construction is now becoming a bit more difficult. Is Bay good leverage off of Giddey? Nah, I'd rather play Giddey. Like, just full stop. What's the best player prop for Sixers versus Pistons? I know, I'll have to take a look in a second, but Clarkson is never elite. He never smashes, even in the best spots. You know, I want to, like, say you're wrong, but It always seems like he goes off in these spots where he's not supposed to go off. Lowry or Porter on FanDuel, that's tough. I mean, Lowry definitely in cash games. Porter, I think, has the higher upside in tournaments. So if you're playing like one lineup, probably just Lowry. Let me check it right now, Steph. Joel Embiid officially active. Conley and Clarkson, same line, viable? Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think that they probably end up closing this game out next to each other with no Mitchell. Is Giddey necessary in cash now? No, Giddey's not necessary in cash at all. No. Yeah, I'm still on the under bandwagon for free throws on PrizePicks if you guys want to start hitting those. Yeah, Clarkson and Brook Lopez out tomorrow. This FanDuel lineup is looking real nice. No news on Korkmaz yet, though, which is kind of concerning, I suppose. Conley and Paul, Westbrook, Shake, Bogdanovich, AD, Sengun, Cunningham, KJ, SGA, DK Cash. I like it. Which Bogdan you like better? Well, I mean, if Bogdan is healthy, I like Bogdanovich more of the Hawks, but I don't think he ends up playing in this game. And then Bojan Bogdanovich gets the bump with no Mitchell, so definitely Bojan from the Jazz. Embiid available, yep. Westbrook, Michaela, or Trey and Giddey, definitely the Westbrook side. Goon's price going to scare people off of him on FanDuel Loki, but he could go off for 40 plus and 28 to 30. That's what I'm saying, man. Man, are we going to get this Korkmaz news? Would really appreciate that at this time. I'm getting like news for everybody else but this. Man. Okay, is 3 Utah players too much in one lineup? Nope, I think that's fine. Clarkson and Seth Curry, raw points. I like Clarkson. Should we play Bam on FanDuel with concern on Embiid minutes? Yeah, I'm actually working on a lineup right now. I do like Bam quite a bit. What's the best player points for Heat versus Celtics? Player points? I don't know, man. I'm not really on player props on that game. I want to play Hero, but if he finds out he's in my lap, he's going to give me 18 fantasy points. Tough situation, man. Any PrizePicks plays? Yeah, we'll get to PrizePicks in a second once I get these updates done. I'll check DMs in a second, guys. Gobert or Bam? Definitely Bam. Embiid is in. Yep. Am I dumb? Who's Goon? Goon is Alperen Sengun, the center for the Houston Rockets. Goon is the man. Yeah, the only difficult thing on FanDuel is like, dude, there's so many good guards with Paul, Conley, Westbrook, Clarkson, Maxey, Lowry. Kate Cunningham becomes like a distant option at this point on FanDuel, at least. Small forward, 5,500 or less. Take a look. Depends on what site you're talking about. I'm assuming you're playing on Draftkings. Whenever you guys ask me questions, I'm assuming you're talking about Draftkings. So yeah, it'd be Mikal Bridges for me. You like a Tybalt tonight? Yeah, Tybalt played like 38 minutes last game. He's gonna play a lot tonight. He's gonna play a lot, especially if Korkmaz is out. And I think Korkmaz, who was a midday downgrade, is pretty likely to sit in this game. I was playing CSGO. Are you updating FanDuel at all? Yeah, I'm updating FanDuel in just a moment, guys. Thoughts on Horford? I mean, at this point, I'm assuming Horford's going to play. I think he's a pretty decent play. Dude. Everybody knows he's been hitting these over rebound props, which is like insane. Embiid or Davis FanDuel? Definitely Davis. Do you like Grant on DK? No, I do not. Cade Cunningham or Cam Reddish? Probably Cade. What do you think about Capella and Shea for power picks on PrizePicks? I do like that over. If you guys do want to tail an over pick or play for me on PrizePicks right now, it would probably be the over Clint Capella fantasy points and the over Shea Gilgeous-Alexander fantasy points. I think that game in Los Angeles stays pretty close, and so Shea should get his full allotment of minutes and should easily pay off that price tag. McGee or Sengun last piece on DK. If you have the money, I prefer Sengun. Jayshawn Tate over under 5.5 first half. I do like the over there. You know, it kind of complicates things with Eric Gordon being back, but I think it's still fine. Bogdanovich or Ingles? Definitely Bogdanovich. Most players from Utah since Mitchell is out. Most players from Utah? I don't know what you're saying. Lowry or Hero? It's probably got to be Hero for me at this point. Baisley or Niang? Baisley if you have the money. I don't know. Actually, I prefer Niang. Sorry, I prefer Niang. Thoughts on Kyle Lowry? DK? Much better play on FanDuel than he is on Draftkings. Okay, FanDuel update is going up right now. And sign-up's looking hot. Thibault, Niang, or Ingles on DK. Probably going to go with Niang there, assuming Korkmaz is out. What thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming DeAndre Ayton is out in this game, so it's a really big boost defensively for Christian Wood. He should have a lot easier time in this game. Okay, Bogdanovich and John Collins are both in, so we could just avoid that Atlanta Hawks team pretty much completely. If you guys are part of the Patreon group, I'm posting an update right now. And again, guys, this does have JaVale McGee, which we don't have 100% confirmation that DeAndre Ayton is out. If he is ruled in, I do have a pivot in place, so do not fret. We have a plan already set up in the case that DeAndre Ayton sits. But again, you know, it just seems like DeAndre Ayton is going to end up sitting yet again today. Okay, the new lineup is now live. Let me post it here too. Okay, so that is all done with. So we can go back to answering questions. We're not really freaking out about anything. We're not really waiting on any more news now.
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. And you know what happiness is? Happiness is the smell of a new car. It's freedom from fear. It's
okay, Collins is in. Yep, peep DM when you get a chance. I got you right now, Matt. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, we got 18 minutes to fire through some questions, help you guys build some good lineups. Matt, I'm just going to read your question out loud. Cade and Niang or Clarkson and Tybal, first or second side? Cade and Niang. So I know you play. I know what contest you play in. So I guess it depends on the Korkmaz news. If Korkmaz is ruled out, I prefer the Niang side because I think Niang has pretty crazy upside. If he's guaranteed to play like 30 plus minutes. But if Korkmaz is ruled in, then it's the Clarkson side. Why do you like Crowder over Bridges? I do not. I like Bridges more than Crowder. Can the Sixers please post lineup, lol? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it really just all depends on Korkmaz. Korkmaz being out is going to make Niang like a very, very strong play today. Korkmaz is ruled out. Okay, so Korkmaz is ruled out. So Georges Niang becomes a very, very good play today. You know, Georges Niang was playing behind Korkmaz, but he was closing over him. So now this lineup becomes even thinner. So this is also a very big upgrade to Shake Milton. Shake Milton is going to be needed pretty heavily for his ball handling responsibilities. They don't really have ball handlers outside of, you know, Embiid's going to do it at times, but how much is he really going to play today? And then Tyrese Maxey and Shake Milton played 8 minutes next to each other last game. And now with them being without Korkmaz, I mean, they're going to be really thin with ball handlers at $3,900. You could make a direct pivot from Cade Cunningham to Shake Milton. You're going to get a fraction of the ownership there. And we really don't know what we have in Cade Cunningham right now. So Shake Milton could be a really, really strong pivot at like I said, a fraction of the ownership. Clarkson much safer. Who are you answering? Frank the Tank over McGee. I still think I slightly prefer McGee because I assume he gets to start here. But I mean, you could play Frank and McGee definitely together. Pay up for Westbrook or pay down for Maxey. Definitely up for Westbrook. Horford or Capella. Capella for me. Best advice for GPP FanDuel tonight. Play Alperen Sengun over McGee. Kaminsky or Martin. Kaminsky for sure. Bump to Curry as well. Yep. I mean, yeah, definitely a bump to Seth. Do you think Capella rebounds is safe around PrizePicks to full game? Isn't it? Is it at 10.5 or 11.5 rebounds? I always like taking fantasy points, so I have multiple outs. Sengun or Frank? If you have the money for Sengun, definitely Sengun. Clarkson. But again, guys, like I'll reiterate over and over again, assuming DeAndre Ayton is out, you could definitely play Frank Kaminsky and McGee next to each other. Porter or Lowry, Fanduel, GBP? GBP, definitely Porter. Clarkson or Maxey? Clarkson. Giddey over 11.5 tonight. I actually really like that next story. I like the over 11.5 for Giddey. I like Giddey a lot tonight. Maxey or Clarkson now that Cork is out. It's still Clarkson for me, but you know, Maxey could play like massive minutes tonight. So, okay, Shake Milton is starting. Man, dude, like I'm really tempted to play Shake Milton just straight up over Cade. I'm really tempted to play Milton over Cade. Wow. So wait, let me see that again. So Georges Niang still coming off the bench. Yeah, man. I'm like really considering playing Milton over Cade now. Let me look at something real quick. Because that definitely throws a wrench into some things. Just play them both. Yeah, that you're right. I mean, you could just play both Shake and shaking them and Cade Cunningham. Utility at $5,600. Jordan Clarkson, Kaminsky and Shake, or Sengun and Tybal. Man, that's close. Probably the Shake side though. Taylor, listen to me for the FanDuel. Instead of CP3, Tybal, and Crowder, we can play Shake, KPJ, and Hero. Yeah, I do like that quite a bit, stuff. And actually, that might actually be the pivot now that Shake is starting and Cork is out. I was expecting Niang to grab the start here. I still think that Niang has a good chance of closing the game out over Shake. And there is a realistic possibility that Shake closes the game over Tyrese Maxey and then the rest of the lineup sticks. Hero or Capella or Horford? Capella for me. Heat or Celtics tonight? I like the Heat for sure. Is Niang going to be chalky on either site? I don't know how much ownership he's really going to gain, especially since he's coming off the bench. Posting an update, guys. Guys, wait for a FanDuel lineup update. I'm going to update it in just a second. Okay, update to Draftkings. Now let me get this FanDuel update in. That's a good call, Steph. Because I was about to take a look over here once that Shake Milton news came out. Okay, let me kind of just like rapid fire this. Okay, the FanDuel lineup is going up right now. Okay, the new FanDuel lineup is now live. Yeah, over on Draftkings, yeah, I really like Shake Milton now. Like, I love Shake Milton now. Love Shake Milton. Yeah, Kyle, I mean, Steph was on point with that pivot. I mean, I was just about to look over there to pivoting to Shake since we got that news. And then we still have money to pivot to Kaminsky if we want to. Okay, Embiid is playing correct. KPJ or Conley on DraftKings. Conley definitely safer. KPJ maybe more upside, but Conley, since you're asking. Is Embiid limited minutes? I don't know. You know, this is the second leg of a back-to-back. I could definitely see them taking it easier on him tonight. All right, we got 7 minutes to lock, so we should be good to go here. Man, yeah, that feels really good that happened right before lock. Like, really, really good. Any free throw props? We can take a look. KJ Martin or Tybal, same price. Definitely Tybal for me. DK Hero, Milton, Giddy, Davis, McGee, Westbrook, Niang, Sengun. I love it. Thoughts on Conley, Schroeder, Butler, Niang, AD, Milton, Giddy, and Cunningham. I'm not really on Schroeder unless we get news that Al Horford is out for rest, but I don't think that is happening today. So I like the rest, but not really on Dennis Schroeder. McGee or Milton? Probably McGee. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. It's probably Shake. Shake, Hero, Giddy, AD, Sengun, KPJ, Niang, Bam, DK, GPP. Love it. Cater, JaVale, already have Frank. I think it's fine to play JaVale there. I think it's fine. But also, you know, the off chance that DeAndre Ayton plays, you're really going to be screwed if you're having to pivot off multiple guys. Conley or KPJ? Probably Conley. Is still liking Niang even though not starting? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Niang's still going to play big minutes. Is playing 4 Jazz players too much? Probably too much, just because there are such good value plays in the Sixers game. So what were you guys looking at? You guys were looking at Conley free throws. What has he been attempting? I mean, you would have to imagine he attempts the upper range today with no Mitchell, correct? So I kind of like the over right here. Yeah, so the Sixers available guys tonight. 4 or 5. Only 9 active players. 3 of these guys only play center. 3 of these guys only play center. So, you know, Maxey, I mean, they're going to play big minutes. Like, Maxey, Milton, Curry, Tybal, and Georges Niang are all going to have to play massive minutes. We have like 6 players splitting 4 positions on the Sixers tonight. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Take SGA over free throws made. 3. Yeah, in a competitive game. Shea's been getting to the line too. Or at least he started off doing that. I do want to... I'm like team under, but I might take some overs here. Let's take over Conley. Let's take over Shea free throws. So I'm taking... I'm not feeling that confident in it, but fuck it. I'd rather lose than push. Conley or Hero? Probably Hero. PrizePicks due before the game start. Yeah, if you guys want a straight fantasy projection one, I still like the Clint Capella over 31 fantasy points. And who was the other one that we had? Not Kelly. I still like the Kelly one. I mean, dude, Tyrese Maxey over 20. I mean, this looks pretty nice. 25.5 for Seth Curry. He is a bit shooting dependent. Lowry seems too low. Oh, yeah, we'll take this. So if you guys want to tail this with me, we can take... I already placed this myself earlier, but Clint Capella over 31 fantasy points and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 34.5 fantasy points. Bam or Capella? Bam for me. Giddey or Conley? Conley. Tybal and B and Milton too much? No, absolutely not. I mean, dude, they have like very limited minutes to go around. Like, Bridges or Tate? Bridges for me. Melo or Tate? Tate for me. Clarkson okay for cash? Absolutely. Clarkson is one of the best plays on the entire slate. For sure. Shake Milton season, fellas. Shake Milton season. Milton over Clarkson on a DK. I mean, for the savings, yeah, but I still love Clarkson. Like, if you have the money to get up to Clarkson in a vacuum, I prefer Clarkson. Playing Frankenwood if Ayton sit, if not swapping to KJ and SGA and DK Cash. What do you think? I think that's definitely fine. Shake and bake 30 real tonight. Let's get it, man. Yeah, I just cannot wait to look at the ownership on Shake compared to Cade Cunningham. I'm going to go do that now. That sounds pretty exciting to me. But yeah, I'll take my chances with Shake at far lower ownership than Cade Cunningham. And if you played both, I think that's completely fine. 80% Milna DK. Let's get it, man. Let's bing something. All right, guys. Should I have dropped Conley for KBJ? Conley a better play for sure in cash games. If you're playing one lineup, I prefer Conley. But KBJ has pretty crazy upside, but definitely like an amazing spot for Conley. KBJ, 28 fantasy points. I mean, the thing with KBJ is that he turns the ball over so much, and I think Chris Paul and the Suns could be looking for that, and so that's why on PrizePicks where it's a full point deduction for turnovers, I don't like him as much. %, 40. Hey, that's good. That's good with me. I love Shake. Shake to the moon, guys. All right, guys. If you guys want to support me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys do want a 100% match bonus up to $100, make sure to sign up and deposit on PrizePicks.com using code Taylor, TAYLOR. I drop my plays every day, my videos and my live streams, as well as my Patreon, the Discord. I drop them everywhere. We had a massive day yesterday, running it back with Clint Capella and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So if you guys want to sign up right now and tail me, I'm taking the over Clint Capella, 31 fantasy points, and the over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 34.5 fantasy points. Feeling really strongly about both of those guys. So yeah, if you guys want to tail me, I will see you guys in the PrizePicks streets. Yeah, see you guys in the Discord. See you guys in the in-game showdown live stream tonight.